You have seen the headlines. £500,000 a week, €100 million a year. Numbers so large they stop making sense the moment you read them. But here is what nobody tells you. Those figures are not salaries, they are press releases. Here is the thing. When you understand how footballers actually get paid, you will stop seeing your club's decisions the same way ever again. Once you understand that base salary is just the starting point, the rest of the structure makes sense, because clubs and players have built an entire ecosystem of additional payments alongside the base wage, some guaranteed, some conditional, all of them significant. The first is the signing bonus. This is a one-off lump sum paid to the player simply for agreeing to sign, just for putting pen to paper. Clubs use this strategically because it avoids inflating the weekly wage structure, which matters for financial fair play compliance. Financial fair play, the UEFA and domestic league regulatory framework widely known by its abbreviation FFP, limits how much clubs can spend relative to their revenues. Front-loading money as a bonus rather than salary helps clubs manage their reported wage bills more carefully without reducing the overall offer to the player. The numbers here are extraordinary. When Kylian Mbappé renewed his deal with Paris Saint-Germain in 2022, the signing bonus alone was reported to be €130 million, not his salary, just the fee for agreeing to stay. When he then left and signed for Real Madrid in the summer of 2024, the Spanish club reportedly guaranteed him €125 million through the same route. To put that in context, the technology company Meta reportedly offered $100 million in bonuses to try to poach engineers from the artificial intelligence company OpenAI, and the entire business world could not believe it. In a major football transfer window, that is an ordinary day. And if you think this bonus is crazy, wait until you hear about the next layer of bonus players accrue. The second type of payment is the loyalty bonus, and this is where things become genuinely fascinating. A loyalty bonus is money paid specifically for seeing out a contract to the very end. The clause exists because clubs invest heavily in players and do not want them agitating for a move with 1 year remaining on their deal. The loyalty bonus is a financial anchor. If you leave early, you forfeit it. Mbappé again is the clearest example. When he prepared to leave PSG for Real Madrid, part of the negotiation centered on an €80 million loyalty bonus he would normally have been owed for completing his contract. PSG initially fought his right to receive it. Mbappé's legal team won and PSG had to honor the agreement. These are not goodwill gestures. They are contractual obligations with legal weight, large enough to define careers. Lionel Messi's final Barcelona contract contained a signing bonus of €115.2 million and a separate loyalty bonus of €77.9 million. Those two numbers alone total nearly €200 million before a single match has been played, and as often is, the loyalty bonus becomes unachievable. There is even a better and instant way to bag even more cash. Beyond the guaranteed payments, there is a parallel architecture of conditional money, performance bonuses tied to what players actually produce on the pitch. For attackers and midfielders, it is usually goals and assists. Mohamed Salah, Liverpool's Egyptian forward, reportedly earns an additional £2.5 million if he reaches 35 combined goals and assists in a single season. For a player of Salah's consistency, that is almost a guaranteed additional payment in a strong year. And the club has structured it precisely that way. For defenders, the metric shifts. Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool's Dutch captain and centre-back, reportedly collects £750,000 if Liverpool keep 22 clean sheets across a season. Every last-ditch block, every well-organised defensive line, every goalless 90 minutes feeds back into a clause in his contract. Team-level bonuses work the same way. When Leicester City won the Premier League in 2016, each squad member received a share of a £6.5 million team bonus, plus a BMW i8 sports car valued at approximately £135,000 per player. Asked by journalists whether he would at least receive a used car, then manager Claudio Ranieri replied, "And I love this. Some gifts are only for them, none for me. I want to talk to the owner." Real Madrid, according to various reports, agreed to pay each player approximately €280,000 for reaching the Club World Cup semi-finals, with up to €1 million per player available for winning the tournament outright. Up to this point, you may have heard of all these ways that footballers make money, but this next one is often confusing to many. Now here is the layer that most fans have heard of but very few genuinely understand. Image rights. Image rights refer to the commercial value of a player's name, likeness, face, voice, and signature. Technically, every human being has image rights. The difference is that for most of us, they are worth nothing. For a player at a major club, they can be worth tens of millions annually, entirely separate from any football salary. Here is how it works. When a player signs for a club, two agreements are often negotiated simultaneously. The first covers their footballing services, wages, bonuses, appearance clauses. The second covers their image, how the club can use their face and name commercially. This image rights agreement is structured as a deal between the club and a company the player personally owns, rather than as direct employment income. That distinction matters enormously because of tax. Salary is taxed as personal income, 45% at the top UK rate. Money paid into a company the player controls is taxed at the corporate rate, which in the UK sits between 19 and 25%. That gap represents millions of pounds saved legally every single year. Erling Haaland, Manchester City's Norwegian striker, operates exactly this way. His image rights earnings and sponsorship deals flow through a corporate structure taxed at the lower rate. Entirely legal, entirely deliberate. In England, clubs generally leave image rights 100% in the player's hands. At Real Madrid, the arrangement has historically been different. Florentino Perez, the club's president, has long held the position that playing for Real Madrid elevates a player's profile so significantly that the club deserves a commercial share. The standard arrangement has been a 50-50 split on image rights income. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived, he negotiated 60% to himself and 40% to the club. In 2015, he sold a portion of his Asian image rights to Mint Media, a company run by Singaporean businessman Peter Lim, who built his profile across Southeast Asia through campaigns with Shopee, one of the region's largest e-commerce platforms. By the time Ronaldo left, his combined image rights income was estimated at around $27 million per year on top of his club salary. When Mbappé arrived at Real Madrid with his own global brand already established, he reportedly negotiated to give the club only 20% of image rights income and keep 80% himself. The bigger the star you are before you arrive, the less leverage the club holds, but there is a set of footballers who have taken the game to a new whole level. And then there is the category that makes you realize football contracts have entirely left conventional employment behind. The clauses, the perks, the non-cash compensation. When David Beckham signed for LA Galaxy in 2007, LA Galaxy being a Major League Soccer club, MLS being the top-flight professional football league in the United States, buried inside his deal was the right to purchase a future expansion franchise for $25 million. He exercised it. That became Inter Miami, now valued by Forbes at over $1 billion. Beckham paid $25 million for an asset worth $1 billion. That is not a footballer getting paid. That is a footballer making an investment that most private equity professionals would envy. Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia in early 2023 tells you everything about where football finance has arrived. Beyond his gross salary, reported to be approximately €210 million per season, his contract reportedly included a signing bonus of $33.6 million, a private jet arrangement worth $5.5 million, a personal staff of 16 funded by the club, and a 15% ownership stake in Al Nassr itself. All of it sitting on top of Saudi Arabia's 0% income tax rate. Every euro kept in full. Now compare that to Tevez's payslip from 2010, where Manchester City handed over £3.3 million of his money to the government in a single year, and you understand exactly why Saudi Arabia has disrupted the football economy in a way that feels permanent rather than temporary. So let us pull the entire picture together with one concrete example. Lionel Messi's final Barcelona contract, published in detail by El Mundo, is the clearest case study we have. His base gross salary was €72.25 million per year. His signing bonus was €115 million. His loyalty bonus was €77.9 million. His performance bonuses covered Champions League qualification, the UEFA Champions League being Europe's premier club competition, La Liga wins, and individual awards, adding up to €11.5 million in a perfect season. Total across 4 years, a potential €555 million gross. After Spanish income tax of approximately 50%, the net figure was roughly €275 million. That works out at €69 million net per season, €5.8 million per month, €8,000 per hour, around the clock. For comparison, the best neurosurgeons in the United States earn approximately $750,000 per year. The average chief executive of a major global corporation earns around $19 million annually. Football at its peak has become its own asset class. The next time someone tells you a footballer earns X million a week, ask one question: gross or net? Because the gap between those two numbers is where the real story lives. If you think this story was eye-opening, you will absolutely be fascinated with this next story about how French football is on the verge of collapse. Click the video on your screen right now, and I will see you over there. Cheers.